I want to get this out. My other one was a 2-day kind of compression, and it got winded. So geek being as geek does, as I am. I just wanted to get this out about day 3 of the DNC convention, which I am kind of keeping on in the screen behind me. Um, so big themes about what I felt this night was about, and what I think they did a great job of. If anybody didn't watch, like, I know we've all seen clips like during the trials and just in general, after the event happened. Obviously, the videos were coming out about the insurrection on January at the Capitol, and I think this is video, this compilation of scenes is not something we'd actually see. Like, some of it we had seen before, but the, I guess, narrative viewpoint of it coming from the direct radio feeds of actual police officers on site, cut in with, the back down secondary audio of actual rioters, was this this is great. This should run in every city. This should be an ad in every state, whether it's battleground or not, because I think running these kinds of ads, especially in suburban communities, is going to have a great effect for the Democrats. So I think there was a real theme around what freedom represents. And please, if anybody is watching this, tell me what freedom means to you, because freedom to me, when they asked this question to a bunch of participants and spectators at the DNC, or around where they were possibly doing those group talks, but it's really laid out in the preamble of the Constitution for me. We, the people of the United States of America, in order to form a more perfect union, to establish justice and the common good, provide for the welfare of all people. Like, that is what freedom is. It's providing each individual the ability to live a safe, free, and fair lifestyle, one with dignity and a sense of individuality, right? So whatever it means to you, I think they did a great job. Some of each of the individuals saying what freedom meant for them, whether it's broken down micro on a, like, mine's obviously a macro level, on a micro level of being able to marry the person I want to marry. That's freedom. Or for some children, reading the book they want to read. Real micro level, or on a broader term, people have, like, feeling free in their own community, where they don't have to worry about possibly being shot down in a mass shooting, or free to go to a concert, just the landscape and freedom and feeling safe, right? Whether it's from criminal gun violence or these mass shooting gun violences, free to send your children to school without worrying that they're not going to come home, or if they do live through it, the trauma that that child has to deal with for the rest of their life by being a survivor of a traumatic event. So macro, micro, mine is a real macro look at it and what it means to you. And I think the basis of what they were trying to continue to prove by, of course, bringing up Project 2025, is freedom is what they allow you to do, not what they take away from you. Because so much about the Republicans' version of freedom is what they take away from you. Is, you can't do this, you can't say that, you can't be this type of person, you can't believe this type of religion, you can't wear those type of clothes. Like, it's just the things you can't do. Now, so it's what it's allowed you to do. It's allow you to love someone, allow you to read your books, allow you to go to public events freely, allow you to participate in a certain economy, allow you to breathe fresh air, not allowing the corporations to pollute, but allowing the community to live with the dignity and individuality that they deserve by not, drinking water from lead pipes, as the infrastructure bill said, or laid out the ability to do. So a lot of this as well, I think I am like, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, is the fact that there seems to be, like, when you look at the RNC and the speakers that they had, they were really short on, you know, a bench of people who could speak for the cause of the Republican ticket. And obviously, in this case, Project 2025, because they really want to, it's there. They spent millions of dollars, conservative donors like not Harlan Quinn, like that guy that has that villain name that's in Texas that gave um, Clarence Thomas all that money. He's got such a villain name. It's so apropos. If you remember it, write it in the comments. I'll remember it later, but I want to move on. So all the rich donors that gave to Project 2020 millions of dollars to produce this thing and these training videos and these lawyers and all this stuff, uh, that's, what they're putting out there and the message that they're sending. And there weren't many good speakers at the RNC because all the speakers, it seemed, from the Republican Party that have a stake or communication platform within our, the former, I would say, not the MAGA world, but the Republicans, they're speaking at the Democratic National Convention. Like, I mean, we've got the former, national security. And again, since tonight was about national security in a sense, or just U.S. security, whether it is international or domestic, um, they had figures come in from, again, the Republican Party, whether it's, sheriffs on border towns, whether it's lieutenant governors of states that Trump tried to overthrow, or electoral votes that he tried to repeal and overthrow, whether it's people who worked in his own administration or his VP's administration. Like, it's just, it is just such a, and I've been using it, insanity. I've been using that word flippantly. It is such a twist of and turns of ideology that brings these hardcore conservatives to the point of saying this is not, and then their message was clear, because again, this is about freedom and U.S. security. Just if you vote for a Democrat, it's not you don't become a Democrat. You don't have to say, I am a Democrat. You are a patriot. You are looking out for this country over party because you know the right choice. I mean, if they grew up in specifically, what they considered values or whatever, or of good, right, law abiding behaviors, let's say, over what you consider immoral, like what, in the 90s with Bill Clinton and how they were ostracizing him. And it is still like having him come out like, he's a president. Yes, I get it. But you're just like, he kind of exploited a young female woman, and that is really not the message we want to send. But, he was there. Okay. But, going off that and, laying down that law that she's not going to lie. She knows right from wrong. She was a federal prosecutor. She know the other guy's a criminal, like that. There's a certain level, like she sat on the Foreign Intelligence Committee, one of the most coveted seats in all the Senate. She's the right choice for the country at this time. So if Republicans can throw away their identity politics and vote for country, was a message that those Republicans were trying to send, which I thought was really good. Now, we can't talk about last night, of course, without mentioning Oprah. You don't bring on one of the world's most beloved figures and, not make an impact. I don't, I mean, Oprah is, she's, to me, the color purple. That's the only thing I really have ever watched her in. Or, I mean, she's been in other movies, but that was the thing that, that was Oprah for me. I wasn't a daytime TV show. I'm not a daytime TV show person. I read books based on, what I find and, things I like. So she's not, I mean, she brought Dr. Phil into the thing, and I'm just like, thank you. No, thank you for that. But people love Oprah, and she made her impact as an independent. And it doesn't surprise me that she's an independent. Um, a big takeout. Now, I did call this yesterday in my video. I'm like, oh, are they gonna, maybe Pete Buttigieg will be there tomorrow, and that's gonna make tonight, hold its ground against last night with, the headlines that they had. And he did. He was there. He was there. I will say though, he wasn't the best speech. I think people are right. Wes Moore, uh, the governor from Maryland, had a phenomenal speech. And again, he's got that correct political presence and speaking style that goes well in those kinds of crowds. Now, I thought that Cory Booker was one of the moderators for the host for the evening, and when I remember when he was running for president, I think it was 2020. It was the last. I mean, I gave him money. I gave Buttigieg money or whatever during the initial thing, because or no, it was his speech during. It was one of his convention speeches. I think it was the second term of Obama, and it was Hillary Clinton. So he spoke. Basically, he got Wes Moore's opportunity to speak, and I was like, "Oh my God, this guy should run for president. This guy's amazing." And then you see him this year on the stage as host, and you're watching his speaking mannerisms and his ability to hold the attention of the crowd, and it just wasn't there again. So you never know where it's going to go. Obviously, same thing with Obama. We had no idea he was a nobody, senator, and then all of a sudden he was presidential material. So you never know where it's going to go or how it's going to fall. The chips are going to fall. But he did a wonderful job. Let's see. And so I mentioned the main things, freedom. Oh, my crying tally. I cried 5 times. Now, one of the stories that, of course, you just can't help but cry. It was when they brought on the parents of one of the current hostages. He's a dual citizenship, Israeli American, and he's still being held hostage. And they wear the sticker of how many days? I think it was 210 yesterday, 211 today. That story, and it encompasses so much of what I think people are forgetting about the situation. It's not a pro-Palestine or pro-Israel stance. This is I mean, what's happening in Gaza is just horrific what the Israelis are doing, and not Israelis, what Netanyahu. See, that's the thing. This is about leaders. This isn't about the people. Hamas is a horrible. I don't understand why people are in any case taking a side. I mean, they will stone gay people. They will not let women wear clothes that they want. They will not let them learn. Like there are no. If this is about freedoms, they have no freedoms there. So I don't know what the pro part of any of that is. But equally, I mean, Netanyahu is Voldemort, in my opinion. He's always been Voldemort. He's a horrible, horrible person. And he is I would say, close to Trump megalomaniac, but a little bit smarter. I mean, he has been a fundamental ideologist, since his father raised him. The only reason he first came to power is because the former prime minister of Israel that basically negotiated the Oslo Accords, where the Palestinians and the Israelis were going to sign a peace agreement, is because someone from the far right Netanyahu side of the party assassinated that prime minister after the negotiations were done, and then he got that was the first time he was elected into prime minister. So right wing got brought in by right wing. Now I don't, the right wing of both the Jewish side and the Muslim side are nutbaggers. And I've said this before. If you want to build, or if you want to all put them on a survivor island and let them fight it out themselves, so all the actual real people that are stuck in between these ideologues, can live their life in freedom while those guys just figure their BS out and their insecurities out. Because, yeah. So that speech, talking about their son and the fact that it comes down to freeing all the hostages, that it is up to these two leaders that are unwilling because they're both in losing positions and nobody likes either of them. But there are people still suffering because of them. So, and the whole arena, broke out in tears, and it was quite sad. I mean, it's very heartbreaking, and everything that's going on. Like, just free them and stop bombing the people in Gaza. Free them and conscript every single Hasidic Jew into the military and see how they like it. Okay, settled, done. So, I mean, those are the big highlights. Still enjoying it. I mean, obviously, last night was going to be a slower night than the second night because you don't. I mean, the Obamas. It was good. Music was good. I didn't know some of the singers, but ah, the comedy Keenan was good. Is a nice touch, and I feel the same way as Cory Booker. I have a childhood dream, and it is to be able to say live from New York. It's Saturday night. Like obviously not here, but that's cool. It's just like one of those things. So we'll see where tonight goes. It is the final night. Obviously, it's going to be the big speech. Let's see who brings her out. Let's see what star musical guests are around. I mean, are we going to get a T Swiftie appearance? Who knows? But I mean, it's been a very produced event so far, and I'm enjoying it. I don't feel like I'm wasting my time at all. Okay, everyone, thanks again for stopping by. I hope you watch it. Again, I recommend the PBS Raw feed, not any of these other feeds that you always get the newscasters and commentators and you know specialists at something that want to comment on something in interviews, side interviews. I'm like, no, just let me watch this, let me participate in it, let me see it. So check out any of my other videos. Again, what does freedom mean to you? If you remember the name of the guy, no, I was going to say Harlan Crow again. I don't know. Maybe that is his name. I don't know. Okay. Learn something new, read something good. Thanks, everyone. Bye.